Top 10 Fantastical Adventure Movies on Netflix. Sometimes reality is a bust. In times like those, you might want to fire up the Netflix account and look for something with far-off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, or a prince in disguise. Hey guys, welcome to your entertainment channel Netflix Tops, where we tell you about the top-rated movies and series on Netflix. So grab your popcorn and stay with us until the end of this video, because today's video is going to list down the top 10 fantastical adventure movies to watch on Netflix. So let's get started. Number 10. Sucker Punch. A film that has more than its fair share of detractors. The often blunt Sucker Punch is a work that still deserves another chance on the strength of its creativity. A descent into multiple levels of reality mixed with fantasy. The story centers on the beaten-down baby doll, Emily Browning, who is institutionalized by her abusive stepfather. In order to survive the experience and find a way to escape, she retreats into her own mind. This takes the form of a variety of sequences that range from the more grounded nightmares of a brothel to the heights of a battle on the cyberpunk-esque train. It is all very absurd, though undeniably a distinct vision from director Zack Snyder that works if you buy into the psychological tension woven throughout it. The performances are all committed, elevating the film through some of its rougher patches to create a conclusion that is more emotional than it has ever gotten credit for. Number 9. Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride is one of those movies that manages to be both beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Director Tim Burton's classic stop-motion style is the perfect medium for the story of love, loss, and betrayal. When Victor Van Dort, Johnny Depp, son of a rich merchant, is betrothed to Victoria Everglot, Emily Watson, he finds himself unable to perform his part in the wedding rehearsals. Distraught, he leaves to wander through the woods, practicing his lines and lamenting his misfortune. Of course, things only get worse when, after placing his ring on what he assumes is a branch of a tree while pretending it's his future bride, Victor accidentally ends up marrying Emily, Helena Bonham Carter, an undead woman who desperately wants to love again. Beautiful animation, dance-worthy songs, and a shocking yet beautiful conclusion all come together to make Corpse Bride a film worth watching again and again. Number 8. Midnight in Paris. A nostalgic look at the past and written and directed by Woody Allen. Midnight in Paris is one of Woody Allen's few modern movies that stands alongside his classic works. The film centers on the hopeless writer Gil, Owen Wilson, who travels on a premarital trip to Paris with his fiancée Inez, Rachel McAdams. Gil struggles to connect with Inez and her materialistic friends, but finds a magical journey awaits him once the sun sets. He's transported back in time to Paris's lost generation in the 1920s. Although Gil enjoys writing and talking with legendary authors and artists, he doesn't really belong there. The film shows us that the past is always worth remembering, but you can't live there. The cast includes Owen Wilson, Rachel McAdams, Tom Hiddleston, Marion Cotillard, Kathy Bates, and Adrian Brody. Number 7. A Monster Calls. Despite what the title might suggest, A Monster Calls isn't a horror movie. It's a richly metaphorical drama that centers around the way that children choose to process grief. The film follows the young boy Connor O'Malley, Louis McDougall, whose mother, Felicity Jones, is on her deathbed. Louis has visions of a giant fantastical creature voiced by Liam Neeson, who gives him the sword of wisdom that he never got from his own absent father, Toby Kebbell. It's clear that most of these fantasies are in Connor's head. Regardless, J.A. Bayona's wondrous visual spectacle brings Connor's most vivid dreams to life. Written by Patrick Hess, the cast includes Louis McDougall, Felicity Jones, Sigourney Weaver, Liam Neeson, and Toby Kebbell. Number 6. The Spiderwick Chronicles. For those who grew up reading the Spiderwick Chronicles, the Netflix adaptation is a spooky and nostalgic blast from the past, filled with the same imagination, creativity, and heart that the original books possessed. Following the three Grace children, Mallory, Sarah Bulger, and her twin brothers, Jared and Simon, both played by Freddie Highmore, as they discover the hidden world of fey creatures residing in their new village. The film delves into a world of magic and mystery. Highmore does a fantastic job portraying two distinct characters, and Bulger's Malloy is as courageous as she is charming. The film is a wonderful watch for any who delight in the world of fantasy and fun, and it's the perfect film for original fans of their families. Directed by Mark Waters, the cast includes Freddie Highmore, Sarah Bulger, Mary Louise Parker, Martin Short, Nick Nolte, Seth Rogen, Joanne Paulwright, and David Strathairn. Number 5. The Old Guard. An action thrill ride that is still slept on till this day. The Old Guard is a superhero movie all on its own that packs a real punch in everything from its crushing combat sequences to the prevailing heart found in each one of its characters. It stars a typically resolute Charlize Theron as Andy, the head of a group of immortal mercenaries, who must undertake a revenge mission after being set up by someone they trusted. The twist is that the reason for their immortality is that all of the members have regenerative healing abilities that ensure they can take quite a beating and keep going. Adapted from the comic book of the same name by Greg Rucka, and brought to life with a razor-sharp eye by director Gina Prince-Bythewood, the film also sees a scene stealing Kiki Land command the scene as Nile to make it a must-see for any lover of action cinema. Number 4. Night Teeth. Night Teeth is a vampire movie like you've never seen before. The film follows Benny, George Lendeborg Jr., a chauffeur hired to drive two friends, Blair, Debbie Ryan, and Zoe, Lucy Fry, to several parties around Los Angeles. The catch? The two women are vampires, and they're about to cause some serious chaos. With sleek cinematography and some genuine laughs and scares alike, Night Teeth is stylish and campy fun. Number 3. Big Fish. With many of Tim Burton's films, the love and beauty of their stories are hidden underneath the director's gothic exterior. Once you crack open a film like Edward Scissorhands or Frankenweenie, there's a surprising amount of heart to be found. But with Burton's 2003 film, Big Fish, the director put the tenderness and warmth front and center. Big Fish follows Will Bloom, Billy Kundra, and his relationship with his father, Edward, Albert Finney, who is on his deathbed. Edward's penchant for over-the-top stories has always been a point of contention between Will and his father. But as Will listens to his father's stories one last time, he hears the sparks of the truth that Edward has simply exaggerated to make his life seem as grandiose as it felt to him. Big Fish is a big, open heart of a film, a love letter to storytellers, and a look at the troubled family relationships that can become something beautiful. Number 2. Dark Shadows. Based on the beloved soap opera by the same name, Tim Burton's 2012 redo was met with mixed reviews, but with its 10th anniversary approaching, it has become something of its own cult classic. Dark Shadows may not be as heartwarming as Burton's classic Big Fish, or even as morbidly appealing as Edward Scissorhands, but it does possess a unique quality of being a rather fantastical horror comedy. Dark Shadows tells the story of Barnabas Collins, Johnny Depp, a vampire from the 18th century, who was cursed by the spurned witch, Angelique, Eva Green, to suffer for all eternity for turning down her advances. In the 1970s, he discovers a young woman named Maggie Evans, Bella Heathcote, who bears a striking resemblance to his late fiancée, Josette Heathcote, who Angelique led to an early demise. While tremendously campy at every turn, Dark Shadows is ultimately about a star-crossed romance that transcends the bounds of time and mortality. There's a little bit for everyone in this one. Typical Burton-esque aesthetic, gothic drama, twisted romance, and delightful dark humor. Number 1. Paradise Hills. Paradise Hills plays with exceptions and aesthetics. A woman named Emma Roberts, finds herself at a reform facility on a beautiful island, one that is much more sinister than it originally appears. Together, she and her group of enemies-turned-allies must figure out the real purpose of the program they've been forcibly enrolled in, and find a way to escape before it's too late. Alice Waddington's film, which premiered at Sundance in 2019, explores themes of femininity, gender roles, and trauma, and has an all-star cast. This is an underrated gem you don't want to miss. And this brings us to the end of the video. What are your thoughts on today's video? Share with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for amazing movie reviews coming your way. And thank you for watching.